Hello, and welcome to yet another video. I am so excited to have you here, and I do welcome you in a special way because today you are going to be learning the 5 money myths that is blocking your financial success. Indeed, these are important points that you need to pay attention to. Why? Because they could potentially unlock your ability to become financially successful. If this is your first time meeting me, my name is Beatrice Yakuba. I am the founder of a Simply Family Business. I help business owners to market their business online. And indeed, I am also the author of these 2 books, that is Win the Money Game with Your Child and Win the Money Game Online, How to Start and Grow an Online Business. So I would implore you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel, and because that helps with, the algorithm and how many people will see this video. And indeed, also to give us a thumbs up because that helps along the way. Now, let's get started with the money myths that are potentially blocking your financial success. Money myth number 1 is money doesn't grow on trees. How many times have you heard this? Money does not grow on trees. When I was growing up, I think that was the common thing, you think I'm made of money and all those kind of things that we hear every day. But what I always say is that, yes, these kind of ingrained in our brains as far as our ability to go past our childhood behaviors and learning is concerned. Money doesn't grow on trees. In fact, the irony is that money actually do grow on trees, in the sense that if you are using paper money, guess where paper is coming from? Paper is coming from the trees. But most importantly, if you think that way, in terms of money doesn't grow on tree, you need to think about the growth in a different way, i.e., you need to get your money growing. And with this, if you are somebody who likes to save money away, guess what? Saving alone is not going to help you, in the sense that your money is being devalued by inflation all the time. So think about it. Flip it in a way. Yes, money doesn't grow on trees, if even that is the truth, but you need to get your money to grow. It is important that you get your money grow, because if your money is not growing, guess what? You are actually retrogressing. And that brings me to the point of, most of us would work and will not perhaps even keep money away to help us in some day. So if you are in that category, number 1, you need to kind of think, because it is important that you keep money away every month, but not just keep the money away. You have to get the money to grow. And that is quite important. Getting the money to grow is the way that you kind of will become financially successful. Other than that, obviously, you keep your money in the bank, and guess what they do with it? They actually make the money to work, but not into filling your pocket. And that is really what majority of us do. But if you are somebody who is into or really want to know about how you can become financially successful, getting to know how to get the money grow is very crucial. Now, point number 2 is that I cannot afford this. So this is a money myth, that we can't afford things or something is too expensive. Yes, in reality, something is expensive. If perhaps your whole salary or your monthly income from your business can't even add up to you being able to buy that thing. Yes, it is expensive, but it doesn't mean that you cannot afford it. And I use the analogy of buying a house, for example, or even a car. Sometimes until you think about, in fact, let me just share this story. One time, it's not long ago, some years ago now, that we were, a property was being sold in Ghana. And this person that was delegated to sell this property did not really think that he had the potential of buying the house, until another person asked him, what about you? You've been telling people about this house for a while. What about you? And that question alone sowed a seed in his mind that, well, yeah, potentially I could buy this house. Then he started to think about how now to buy the house. And indeed, eventually he was able to raise the money to buy the house. Now, this is a similar example to anything at all you want to buy. Of course, you would not be able to buy it until, number one, you accept in your mind that potentially I could buy this, or potentially this could be affordable. But when you say I can't afford it, you have literally told your brain to shut up in terms of don't even think any other way. This is out of my reach. End of story. Well, if that is if that is your thinking, then of course you can't afford it. That is a self-fulfilling statement for you. And it's a myth, because we have been, if you think back to the things that you have been able to buy in your life, you could certainly think of things that you used to think that you couldn't afford, and now you are able to afford them. So there is the possibility that whatever it is that you are thinking of right now, thinking I can't afford it, is because you haven't really thought about it. If you did think about it critically, there will be a way out. And I can share several examples of people that I know who have done things. Somebody wanted to start a restaurant, and it just seems like there was no way to be able to get the money. But she was able to come up with the money, because putting your mind under thinking to think about this thing that you want actually gives you the way forward and the pathway in terms of I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, and eventually the money would come for you to be able to afford it. So instead of saying how I cannot afford it, the question that if you find something that you think you desire, say, how can I afford this? And you will give your mind the chance to think, because otherwise, once you say, how can I can't afford it, end of. You don't want that to be perpetually your way of thinking or your way of belief if you desire to become financially successful. Then the third point is that, or the third myth is that we believe that rich people are greedy. Just think, let that sink in. Is that your belief, that rich people are greedy? Several people, if I were to make a random survey, many people would say that. And you just need only to type in on Google, are rich people greedy? And you would see response. It is amazing how many people think about people who are rich. I learned this from a lady called Jen Sincerio. She is a self-development lady, and indeed also self-empowerment and helping people think differently, especially about money. And in this book, when she there was this exercise, because you have to do some exercises as well to write what your childhood belief about money was, and or about rich people was. And I think I filled the paper with all these things that, growing up knowing that rich people are nasty, they are disrespectful, they are greedy, they are inconsiderate, they are this, they are that, all the things that you could ever think about. I wrote it down. And then on the flip of the paper, the question was, if you were money, looking at your piece of paper that you have written, if you were money, or if money was a human being, will it come to you? And that really struck a chord, because of course it would not, because you have to look at people who have made money with admiration. And to be honest, this was only an exercise I did about when I was growing up. Obviously, that's not my attitude or thinking for several years now. I absolutely admire people who have been able to crack the code in becoming financially independent, because it is not an easy thing to achieve. Why? Because many people haven't achieved it. Many people haven't been able to know how to manage money. And so if you see someone who has been able to do that, either through business or through savings or through investment, whatever it is that they have done to be able to get to a point of becoming financially independent, I see them with admiration, because obviously it's not everyone who is able to do that. And if someone has the fortitude or the ability to think, or even the discipline, because supposing you are in business, do you know how many business people fail? Several of them fail even within the first year. It is said that 95% of people who start businesses fail. So somebody, and I can actually testify to that in the sense that the people I started training about business and going to business conferences with, 95% of them, I don't even know where they are. That is the great percentage of people who would fall along the way, because they will just go back to 9 to 5 and will not bother about this thing called, trying to become financially independent. So for someone who is able to do that, it means the person really, really cares about becoming financially independent. And I want to say that we should just give people, a round of applause for being able to be rich, because it's something to be admired. Yes, if you saw people, or if you were growing up, and for those of us who grew up in Africa, we saw that people who were rich were, respectful and things like that. But it is not everyone. How many rich people, or truly rich people, to be honest, when I then looked at the people that I used to think were rich, they weren't even rich. They were just able to get 3 square meals a day. So for that reason, they thought they were, above everyone else. But people who are truly rich actually respect people, because you have to respect people so that money can come to you. Money will come to you if you'll be able to provide services to people, unless you are investing. But even with that, you still need to work with people who can help you to learn about how to invest. So if you are in business and you become rich, it's because you have been able to serve other people diligently to warrant them giving you their money. And that is something to be admired. Myth number 4 is that money is not everything. If you have ever told yourself that, or told anybody that money, or think about it, that money is not everything, think again. Yes, money cannot buy you love, money cannot buy you happiness, money cannot buy you whatever it is that you think that money cannot buy you, but money will go a long, long way. I think money can buy you happiness, actually, because if you are stuck in your house and you're not feeling good, and you have the money to go out and go and attend a cinema, for example, or go to even the city center to walk around and go into the shops and all that, you have just literally changed your mood as a result of you having some money in your pocket. Because guess what? If you don't have money, going out sometimes can be challenging, because you don't want to go out and spend the little money that you have. So in my opinion, yes, money can actually buy you happiness. Love, of course, people use money to do other things in terms of getting which woman or which man they want in this world. Whether it's true happiness or not, that's irrelevant. But seriously, money can go a long way. And to bring it home to us who are even in the let me talk about the third world, for example, health sector, because I'm in the health industry in terms of my career as a nurse. People are literally dying because they don't have money to pay for their health. People are dying because they don't have money to buy good food to eat, or nutritious food to eat. That is in the third world. In the developed world, people are still dying because they don't have money to be able to look after themselves. So in places like in the UK, where health is free, there is also health inequality, in the sense that it is said that when you start from Westminster, that is where the seat of government is, and it's only a few miles away from Westminster to East London, the life expectancy gap is already 5 years, just because of where people are and where the seat of commerce is. So money still plays an important role. Plus the fact that if you don't have money, for those who are privileged enough to have health insurance, we see the difference. Somebody comes to the hospital as a private patient. Remember, even in the hospitals, in the UK hospitals where government is predominantly the provider of health services, they have given room for people who can pay privately. And these people get their surgeries done ASAP. Like, they just need to be diagnosed, and then they are in the theater in the next whatever weeks to be able to get their operation done. Whereas people who don't have money can actually stay for long, and then their conditions get deteriorated. For example, cancer treatment. If you are diagnosed with cancer, for example, you need treatment ASAP. But because the hospitals are inundated with patients, guess what? People are being pushed forward, and before you know it, it's too late. Or, for example, hip replacements or joint replacements, for instance, those ones, it used to be 6 months, now it's a year or plus, and so on and so forth. If you have money, guess what? You'll be able to buy your health. If not for anything at all, you'll be able to buy your health. You'll be able to eat good food. You'll be able to sleep where you want to sleep. You'll be able to go on holidays. You'll be able to send your children to private schools. So why don't we think about those things rather than just shutting our minds up and saying that money is not everything? The last but not least is that it takes money to make money. So that's the last myth about money. Yes, in a way, if you have money, your ability to grow it amplifies really quickly. That is if you know what to do anyway, because people have money and they have invested the money wrongly and lost the money. So yes, you can have money and still not have money in terms of being able to grow the money. Somebody could start with not having any money, and we've seen that, I can share that the whole day, just examples of people who started with nothing. And because of the fact that they are literally serving people with their knowledge and know-how, they've been able to make money as a result. So let's say that you are a teacher, and this is for my people, I would say my people back home in Ghana. I see that a lot of teachers are just sitting there, they're not doing anything. And yet we have people who are capable of paying these teachers to teach their children. If you use your skills in that sense, you haven't used any money, but you will be able to generate more money. You'll be able to generate more money at the end of the month. If you are, this lady shared a story that I was listening to on a podcast. A solicitor decided that he was going to create a website and then bring other solicitors in this website for people who are looking for reliable solicitors for their cases. Then these people then give him a commission. I mean, we see that in Bupa, for those of us in the UK, we see that in Bupa services. I think Psychology Today also is operating on the same premise. And if you look at those kind of skills, the website then generates income to the owner, and without the owner actually using money, other than the logistics of setting up the website. So literally, let me just give an example of even using social media. If you are somebody who knows how to use social media, and then you contact a business owner and say, hey, can I help you to promote your business on social media? You haven't used any money. If the person perhaps is skeptical about starting, you could do it for 2 weeks for them to see the results. And then they will pay you thereafter, and that you are making money without actually starting with money. So those are the money myths that I just wanted to share with you in terms of the myths and what you can do to get yourself, stop yourself being blocked as far as financial success is concerned. So in summary, number one is that Money doesn't grow on trees. You need to rephrase it in terms of thinking about how you can grow your money. Number two is the fact that I cannot afford it. Okay, well, how about you say that, how can I afford this? Number three is that rich people are greedy. Okay, how about you saying that rich people are other people whom I admire because they are giving services to people so that they get paid and make money. Number four is the fact that if you say that money is not everything, well, think about the things that money could bring to your life and change it for better. And last but not the least, it takes money to make money. Not necessarily. You can sell your things on eBay. You can sell your things on Vinted. You can sell your skills to someone who would pay you. You can babysit for somebody. You can tutor for somebody. You can learn more for somebody. And it doesn't have to take you money to do that. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you. If this video has made sense to you, give it a thumbs up, share it, and indeed I will come your way. Once again, take care. Bye-bye.